You are welcome back to another class session on English language, and we've been looking at reported speeches. In this last class, we looked at reported speeches being quoting or saying again what someone has said earlier, and we looked at the direct reported speeches and indirect reported speeches, and we stated that for indirect reported speeches, there are certain changes that do occur when you change them from direct to indirect. In this class, we want to focus more on those features and the peculiar changes that take place when changing direct to indirect speeches. You remember that we said that indirect speeches are sometimes called reported speeches. They don't use quotation mark to enclose what someone has said earlier. And the alterations or changes that occur from direct to indirect happen to the verbs, to the pronouns, to the adverbs in the sentence. Let's continue with that in this class. Looking at this table, we could see what are the changes that could occur. As a rule, when you report something, you go back a tense. So we are on the first one, which is on the tense changes. And this table has been presented so that you could see how the changes occur from maybe present to past and all other changes. But actually, they are focused mainly on the tense or the verb forms. Number one under that is on simple present tense. Simple present tense or simple present form. When we say simple present, we mean where there is no modification, there is no auxiliary verbs to the verb. You only have the verb in the present form and no auxiliary verb there. Let's look at it. Simple present, we have she said. That is, remember, that is for direct reported speech. What did she say? It is all right. It is all right. You see that it is all right is enclosed in within quotation marks, right? Now, in changing it to indirect speech, you are going to change it from simple present to simple past. Don't forget, when you anytime you hear simple present or simple past, it means that verb will not have any auxiliary verb. The verb is going to be realized by only the lexical verb or lexicalized auxiliary verb. So, simple past that it has changed to, you're now going to have she said, it was all right. What has changed there is simple present has changed to what? Was, which is simple past. Another one is number two, present continuous. When you have a present continuous form of a verb, in considering present continuous form of a verb, you are going to have a be verb. Remember, be verb in some of our classes we've had is going to be is, was, are, were, be, been, and being. Now, ben, been, then being. These are the 8 be verbs or verb to be. Now, that be verb was lexicalized in the first one, which was when you have it is all right, it was all right. But now it's being used normally as an auxiliary verb. So you have cutting. So that is what makes it present continuous. Is present. So cutting is ing infinitive, but adding to it makes it finite. That is present continuous. Now, in order to change it to past continuous, you are not going to change cutting. You are going to change what? The am. That is what is showing you. You know, it's an helping verb, an auxiliary verb, telling you that it is present, it is singular, and it is first person. I. You can only use am with I. Now, let's look at what it has changed to. After treating a little grammar there, we have past continuous. She said, she, right? Are you going to say I'm cutting again? No, you're going to have was cutting the grass in the garden. I am cutting the grass in the garden. Change to what? She was cutting the grass in the garden. Let's look at present perfect. In having present perfect, anytime you talk of perfect verbs, you are looking at a verb structure with half verbs. Don't forget the half verbs. We have as, and we have had. So when you now say present perfect, you are using have or as auxiliary before another verb after it. When you now say past perfect, you are saying had plus a lexical verb. So had gone, past perfect, present perfect, have gone, has gone. So let's look at the example here in present perfect. She said, comma, then quotation opens, I have been here since 1999. Full stop, then you close the quotation. I've been here since 1999. Now, changing, that is present perfect, changing into past perfect. Under the tense change, you have, she said, she had been, can you see, have been, present perfect. Don't be thinking about present, what do you call it, past participle. No, that is not what we are considering here. We're looking at the aspect of the tense, aspect of the verb. So have been, we change to what? Had been. If you have has been, that one will also change to what? Has been. So she said she had been there since 1999. Assuming you have something like she has been there, it's going to be what? She had been there. So has and have will change to had. Then as you have here, had been there since 1999. Please take note of these changes we are talking about. The next one, number 4, present perfect continuous. Now, we looked at perfect, looked at continuous. When we talk of perfect continuous, no, it's combining two aspects. It's combining a completed action, perfect. It's describing an ongoing action, continuous. Now, most of the times, what you have is that you have a verb and then you have a be verb. You know, when we say have verb or verb to have, don't forget have, as, had. They'll say be verb or verb to be. We mean is, am, was, are, were, be, been, being. The 8 of them. So you have verbs or verb to have plus verb to be plus ing verb. That is the structure. So when we now say present perfect continuous. So look at the example here. She said, I have, can you see have been, ben. Don't forget, after have verb, you are going to have ben. That is the one that is permitted here. Then after be verb, the next thing in the rule of verb arrangement or conjugation or connection is that you are going to have en or past participle after have, while you are going to have ing after be verb. Now, I have been singing the song for 7 years. In changing it to past perfect continuous, she said she had, don't forget, have, changing to had, then been remains the same thing. She had been singing the song for 7 years. Now, you can have simple past, simple past. You know, in the first rule, we change simple present to simple past. Now, we have simple past or past simple. And don't forget, when we hear anything like simple, it means it only contains the lexical verb. So, she said, I sang the song yesterday. Can you see? Sang is the only verb in that reporting clause. I mean, the reported clause. The clause, the actual clause, the expression we want to report. I sang the song yesterday. You only have sang. She said it's just the reporting clause. What was reporting? Now, let's join the two together in the indirect or reporting speech. She said she had sung the previous day. Now, you've changed sang to what? Had sung. So simple past will change to past perfect. And past perfect means that you are going to use had plus past participle lexical verb. That's why you have she had sung the song the previous day. Let's look at more of the rules still under the changes. Then you have past continuous. It's going to change to past perfect continuous. Don't forget perfect continuous, where you have verbs plus be plus being. Have verb plus what? Been. Now, when you now say past perfect continuous, it's going to be what? Had been, before you now have ing lexical verb. So let's look at this. Past continuous. She said, I was singing earlier. Can you see? Was singing. Past continuous. Assuming it's present continuous, it's going to be what? Is singing. I'm singing. Now, past continuous, like was singing, is going to change to what? Past perfect continuous. So we are going to change that was singing to what? Had been singing. So she said she had been singing before. Earlier change to what? Before. We are still going to look at verbal changes later. We are only focusing on the tense changes. Now, past perfect. Past perfect. Do you remember past perfect? Had plus past participle lexical verb. That is past perfect. Now, when you have that, there is going to be no change to the verb structure. She said the lesson has started already when he arrived. The lesson has already started when he arrived. Already is just in between the auxiliary verb had and started. Doesn't affect the verb structure. So whether already is there or not, the sentence still makes sense. So past perfect, no change. She said the lesson had already started when he arrived, because it's already past perfect. Nothing else that is going to change to. That is why it remains like that. So when you have past perfect continuous too, remember past perfect had, then perfect ben, then continuous. You now have a ing lexical verb that will follow. So she said I had already been teaching for 5 minutes. Nothing to change in that one again. You just say she said she had already been teaching for 5 minutes. If it's a modal auxiliary verb, is from direct, when you have will, it's going to change to what? Would. That is in the past. Can, could, must, had to, shall, should, may, might, is, am, we change to was, are, we change to were, has or have, we change to had, was, we change to had been. Just to summarize what we've been doing in this class. In the subsequent class, we're going to look at all the other rules that pertain to changing direct to reported speeches. For this, I say thank you and God bless you.